Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Economic Development Planning Committee. Everybody's a member. We don't have to go through that. Is there any discussion before we start? If there's no discussion, we have two resolutions. First resolution is to authorize the county executive to execute a memorandum of understanding with the villages of Nelson and Fort Plain, Brownfield Opportunity Area, BOA, nomination planning funds for Fort Plain, Elliston, BOA, Economic Development Planning. We have a sponsor? Sponsor. Brian, seconded by Martin. Thank you. Is there any discussion? All those in favor? Aye. Against? Abstained? Push that forward to the full body. The next and last resolution is resolution supporting the Montgomery County Consolidated Funding Application, Brownfield Opportunity Area, BOA, nomination planning funds for Fort Plain, Nelson, BOA, Economic Development. Any sponsor? Brian, second. Chairman Pep. Any discussion? All those in favor? Aye. Against? Anybody abstain? Move that to full board. Is there any other discussion? There's no further discussion. Motion to adjourn.
So moved.
And we're adjourned at 6:02. Thank you very much.
Call the Health and Human Services Committee to order. Is there discussion from the members? Not? We have Mental Health, Public Health Director here.
So the resolution that I have up tonight, I know it's a bit of a shock asking for $150,000 out of the fund balance, but we currently have an inmate that is in state psychiatric facility undergoing restorative services for competency. I've been working with Christina Pearson from the DA's office in order to look at the charges in this case. It has been deemed that this individual will not be able to be restored to competency in order to stand trial. In saying that, we are looking at a discharge date from the psychiatric facility by the end of this month, the beginning of next month. This is a state unfunded mandate that we are required to pay 100% of the services when somebody is committed to state psychiatric facilities. It used to be 50%. The state, under the new governor, has decided that it's no longer 50, it's 100% of county cost. So for Montgomery County, for an inmate in a county of our size, it's about $43,000 per month. The inmate was put in the facility in March. So we have March, April, May, June, July, and possibly part of August to pay for.
I'll sponsor. Second.
Okay. Any other discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, abstained, carried. Anything under other? Not motion. Yep.
I think this is the committee I did happen to go to Youth Day, saw Martin there. I just want to say that it was a great turnout for the youth in Montgomery County, and I think it's a very important thing that we do. I mean, I heard a lot of positive things from a lot of people about the day. The second thing I want to bring up is that while I was there, I was listening to it. There was a demonstration going off in the foreground, and I kind of kept getting drawn by it. And finally, I went over, and it was K9 Smiths was doing a presentation on the dog with the kids, and he did an absolutely wonderful job. I mean, it was right to their level, right to what they were understanding what was going on. I mean, you couldn't have asked for a better job for what he did. So, I mean, we hear a lot of bad things, but it was a good day, and I just wanted to make sure that people understood.
And I think his fellow actor did a great job as a bad
500 kids were there.
Oh, wow.
It was a really good day.
It was a hot day. Is there any other? Not motion to adjourn? All right.
I'll second. I'd like to call the Physical Services Committee to order. We only got one resolution tonight. Any floor discussion? All right. We got a resolution authorizing the county exec to sign a court cleaning agreement, unified court system, public works. Do I have a sponsor?
I'll sponsor.
I'll second.
Who's second? Legislator Hess.
Bob.
Legislator Hess. Bob. All right, anything other? Nothing. All right, that's all I have. Motion to adjourn.
We got a vote.
All in favor?
Dan, all in favor? Dan.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Same? All right. Again, nothing other? Good. Motion to adjourn.
Come on.
Legislator Kelly. Thank you.
I'd like to call to order the Public Safety Committee meeting, and it's a committee of the whole, all members are voting members, and discussion from the floor. Hearing none, we have 12 resolutions this evening. Most of them are no financial impact, some of them are grants. We'll take them one by one. First one, a resolution amending the 2022 operating budget for computer software for the Sheriff's Office. Looking for a sponsor. Chairman Pett, Legislator Wilson. Discussion. Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions. This resolution will move to the full legislature. Resolution amending the 22 operating budget and equipment for the Sheriff's Office. Looking for a sponsor. Legislator Kelly, Legislator Sweet. Discussion. Hearing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstention. The resolution will move to the full legislature. Next resolution, authorizing Montgomery County Sheriff's Office to enter into a public safety intermunicipal agreement with the Saratoga County Sheriff's Office.
I'll second it.
Legislator Headwell, Chairman Pett. Discussion. Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstention. The resolution will move to the full legislature. Next resolution, a resolution authorizing Montgomery County and the Montgomery County Sheriff's Office to enter into a memorandum of understanding with the Capital Region Crime Analysis Center. Sponsor, Legislator Wilson. Second, Legislator Pertel. Discussion. Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstention. The resolution will move to the full legislature. Next resolution, resolution amending the 2022 operating budget for overtime in the Sheriff's Office. Looking for a sponsor. Sponsor, Chairman Pett. I'll second it. Discussion.
Chair.
Legislator Pertel.
Carl, would you mind just what's causing the overtime or?
Well, we have some vacancies in the correctional department. And again, since 2022, we've had 19 COs out of COVID and 4 nurses. So they impacted the schedule for the mandated personnel that we need. So we're taking advantage of it pretty good.
So that's pretty much what it is.
Yeah.
Thank you, Carl.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstention. Resolution will move to the full legislature. Resolution amending the 2022 operating budget, gifts and donations, Sheriff's Office. Sponsor, Legislator Kelly, Legislator Pertel. Discussion. Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstention. Next resolution, resolution authorizing the county executive to sign an agreement, hyper-reach notification system. I'll sponsor it, looking for a second. Chairman Pett. Discussion. Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstention. That resolution will move to the full legislature. Resolution amending the 22 operating budget for fuel. Sponsor, Legislator Pertel, Legislator Wilson. Discussion. Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstention. The resolution moved to the full legislature. Resolution amending the 22 operating budget, K-9, for the Sheriff's Office. Sponsor, Legislator Headwell. Chairman Pett. Discussion. Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstention. The resolution will move to the full legislature. Two more to go. Resolution authorizing the county executive to enter into contracts with school districts for the school resource officer position at Sheriff's Office. Legislator Patel, Legislator Wilson. Discussion. Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstention. Final resolution this evening for public service is a resolution limiting principal account clerk typist position and reestablishing a senior account clerk typist position. Probation. Sponsor, Chairman Pep. Second, Legislator Wilson. Discussion. Hearing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstention. This resolution will move to the full legislature. Anything under other? Legislator Kelly.
Will the fuel adjustments hopefully take us through the end of the year? Is that what we're projecting?
This is all based on gas prices.
Yeah. Okay.
Any further discussion? Legislator Patel.
I thought I saw somewhere about the cell tower. Is that under finance or?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Anything further?
Motion.
If not, motion to adjourn. Legislator Patel. I'll second it. We're adjourned at 6:11.
All right, we'll call the Education Government Committee to order 6:11. Next on the agenda is a discussion. Committee members, anyone have anything to discuss? If not, we'll move on to the resolutions. First resolution is a resolution adopting introductory local law C. Local law C of 2022. A local law authorizing an option agreement between Celco Partnership, DBA, Verizon, and Montgomery County. The sponsor, Legislator Wilson. Second, Chairman Pep. Discussion.
Discussion. That's the one I was
Yes.
wondering about. Weren't we leasing that for $3,000 a month before?
So, because of what's going on in the construction industry, they decided they couldn't move forward at this time, but they want to have an option to kind of extend their time frame to start.
So is this just an option?
This is just an option.
Thank you, Counselor.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstained? So carried. Next resolution is a resolution proclaiming August 27th, 2022 Trian Day and authorizing a historical festival in commemoration. Any sponsor? Legislator Patel, second. I'll second it. Discussion?
Got your wish, Legislator Patel.
Top of my game.
How come it's not on our economic development?
Yeah, top of my game. Communications isn't strong.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstained? So carried. Next resolution, resolution adopting a 2023 FMCC budget. I'll sponsor. Need a second. Legislator or Chairman Pep. Discussion. Hearing none. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstained? So carried. Next resolution authorizing the county executive to amend contract with Standard Commercial Interiors for the FMCC Science Lab and Classrooms Phase 3. I need a sponsor. Legislator Diamond, second. Legislator Wilson. Discussion. Hearing none. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstained? So carried. Anyone have anything under other?
Chair.
Go ahead.
I'd like to reintroduce the local law for the video conferencing for the meetings. I'll hand out the thing. So we discussed it several times, so hoping to limit some discussion this evening, and as you know, we'll move to the full legislature next week.
No.
Well, I understand that that's for 10 days.
Right, but it's got to move to the full board next week. Oh, isn't it next month though? What's that?
It's got to come next month, because it's got to be 10 days.
Right.
And
But it has to go out of committee to the full board, right?
yes, but I think if we get it out of committee, it will be voted on in August, not in July.
Yeah.
Yes.
Not next week, in August.
Okay,
Yeah, no, I just was clarifying.
but, so it doesn't have to go to the full legislature next week?
It needs to sit on desks for 10 days in its final form. So, yes, you need to vote on it.
I understand the voting in August.
Oh, sorry.
My question is, are you saying that we don't have to vote on it next week?
Right.
We don't have to approve
Right.
this introduction through the committee meeting?
Right.
Okay.
You can just,
We can put it on committee for next month.
No, but it will sit for 10 days.
Right.
Yep, yep.
Yeah, it's on our
Yes,
desk
it
now.
does.
Okay.
Yeah. It'll go prior to your committee, so it'll be on your desk 10 days prior to the committee. And then that gives the time for the full board.
Stay corrected. All right. So anyway, like I said, it's been discussed several times, so I can go to the chairman for further discussion.
Yeah, so I guess we're just gonna continue to bring this back up to eventually maybe it passes, but my opinion is, and Saratoga County is they have a similar situation, and what they have done is they have put a poll on their website and Facebook page for the public to weigh in. I think that might be a good option to get some public insight. See what the public thinks, because, you don't really get a whole lot of participation here, which is fine. That's why we are elected to represent our constituents. But sometimes it's good to bring something like this to their attention, so that would be.
It's a good idea.
That would be an option.
We got time.
With the local law, they would have, oh, sorry, Chair.
Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say, with the local law, people from the public will have the opportunity to speak.
Yeah.
So the minority group for the Albany County Legislature has done the same thing. I think the minority there is against it, and they put out a pretty simple poll. What we have to be careful when we put out the poll is that it's not steering in any way, and ask for thoughts. Obviously, it's not an official vote or anything, but give us insight into what we're doing. And if we do that, I mean, I'll also put it up on my Facebook page. If anybody else does, I mean, let's get as much input as we can to it.
so Legislator Diamond, are you putting it on the desks for now, and then we'll move it through committee next month and then to full board next month?
No,
You want to move it through to full board this month, and then we'll table it?
no, I want to put it on the desk now and vote on it next month.
Can you do that? Don't.
Well, it would go onto the agenda for July if we move it through July committee. So
We're always gonna get caught in this 10-day trap that we can't vote on it at the full board meeting only a week after we.
It's on our desk.
It's on your desk,
Yeah, okay,
so
okay.
now you could vote on it within 10 days, but it has to be more.
I'm gonna hold mine up against the desk. Jeez. I have to vote.
If you moved it through to full board this month, and it would go automatically on the agenda, someone would have to table it this month.
So it's on our desk now, that it'll go to August committee, is what
And
you're
then
saying.
move it.
And then we can conduct the poll in the meantime.
I think that's a simpler way than
Yeah, and then we don't have to.
to worry about tabling it.
It's up to the chair.
Yeah, that's fine. What's that?
So
Is
we
there
work.
going to be a poll done with the attorney coming up with language, or how?
Attorney
You
should come
guys
up with
want
the
that?
language. Especially if it's gonna end up on Patel's website, Patel's Facebook page.
Okay, so you want to poll, just a simple poll, should the legislature pass the law?
You can look at
on local-
Albany County and
Saratoga.
I don't, I think it's both, but I mean, I know Albany County. With their language, just to, for.
Are you on the Facebook page?
I'll get it to you.
The Facebook page is where you want the poll?
Yes.
Or the county website, both.
Okay.
Both,
Yeah.
I mean,
You got
Yeah,
it?
I mean, Morgan uses like all of the social media, Twitter,
Twitter,
Instagram.
Snapchat, Instagram, whatever.
Probably great when a survey monkey that everyone can share it.
Oh, yeah, that's a good idea.
Good idea.
Great idea.
I just think that putting a poll out there, are you in favor of video conferencing, that's kind of misleading. You still need a quorum in person in order for even a meeting to take place.
Well, that's all we could do under the state law. It would have to be with a forum.
We can have that verbiage. We can make sure that that's clear.
Yeah.
Specific bullets, you know.
Any further discussion on that resolution? If not, I need a motion to adjourn. So moved. Adjourned at 6:21. Thank you.
All right, call the Budget and Finance Committee meeting to order at 6:21 and open the floor for discussion for anyone. Hearing none, let's move on to our resolutions for the evening. First resolution is a resolution authorizing the use of $239,337 of American Rescue Plan funds for body cameras.
I'll make the motion.
Legislator Patel, I have a second. Legislator Sweet, discussion. Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Our next resolution authorizing use of $50,000 of American Rescue Plan funds for furniture and equipment, and this would be for the recorder building, correct?
No, this is the DPW.
Oh, DPW, okay.
Economic development portion of the DPW.
I got it, okay. Any further discussion? All right, that's fine, sorry, sponsor. Legislator Wilson. Legislator Hedwell. Discussion. Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Our next resolution is a resolution that's near and dear to our county treasurer. He brought it up earlier. So how can bathrooms cost $100,000?
We got an answer, Chair.
Resolution authorizing the use of $100,000 of American Rescue Plan funds for improvements at the Burpine Forest. I'll sponsor it. Do I have a second?
I'll say.
Okay, Legislator Wilson. Discussion.
Discussion. Yeah, why don't I start first?
Okay.
So as you know, the Burpine Forest and the disc golf course has been something that really has surprised us with the amount of interest that it has. And we've come up with now a couple issues. One is we have cars lined up and down the road, and two, there's nowhere for the ladies to go to the bathroom.
And the men?
Well, I'll let you use your.
Well, can they use them too, or
Absolutely.
special signs?
So what we've done, and you see there's some blanks here, but, we're looking at putting in, a parking area as well as, some bathroom facilities, which are, we've worked with Scott and Water and Soil, and they're green, there's no septic, it's actually an incinerator type of situation. The bids are out now, we should be getting the exact cost, but we did try to put, as a ballpark, this number there as what we wanted to invest into the Burpine Forest. And actually, we've already reached out to some disc golf tours, and really as part of our long-term strategy, what we'd like to do is to start doing some B-level tours here, and once you do 2, 3, 4 of those, you can actually open yourself up to some more national type of tournaments. So we really want to see this continue to grow, and this is a big part of the infrastructure there to allow it to grow, because what we're hearing is the course is great, it's been a great experience, but parking and bathrooms are a big issue, so that's what we're trying to address here. And then anything left over from that, there's some other smaller amenities we might like to add, but am I missing anything big here?
No, I mean, I got a summary sheet if you guys want to see it.
Sure.
It's just,
Yeah.
So we're hoping, we didn't want to have to do an add-on, and we want to get the resolution in, get the discussion going, and then hopefully we'll have some more specifics as we get to it next
and we
week.
want to be able to have a lot of this work done by the time we host this golf tournament in October. So parking lot is the biggest thing to try to get.
So.
It is.
So Vinny, I mean, this is for an amount not to exceed 100, but I mean, do we got a ballpark on it yet or no?
No, so soil and water are gonna get bids back on the 21st. So once that's in, we'll know how much the parking lot is gonna cost. And then we kind of have a good, bathroom, we know is gonna cost around 20,000. The other stuff, that's not much, maybe 10,000 at the most. The parking lot's the biggest question mark, so that's why we went up to 100, just in case where the parking lot's gonna come back. But we don't think it's gonna come back, well, Scott from Soil and Water doesn't think it's gonna come back too high.
It's gonna be paved, paved or just
Paved.
road? So, I mean, we have an idea what Shuttleworth costs for things like that, so. I mean, we did an awful lot of paving at Shuttleworth.
Yeah, so we're right about that, so this,
95,000, and they did a huge parking lot.
yeah.
They did a lot of parking paving.
We feel confident that between the parking and the bathrooms, we'll still have a little bit of room there if there's any other amenities we'd like to look at. Obviously, in that case, we come back.
Probably $4 a square foot.
So is Soil and Water building to building? Is that why they're getting the bids, or?
They've just been a fantastic partner, really. Scott has been, right, Vinny? I can't say enough about them. We really got excited about the Irvine course because of the work Scott did. And then we started brainstorming, and this has really just been one of the, to be honest, one of the best, most fun, passionate projects that we get to work on. There's a lot of enthusiasm, and people are really coming together and making something out of nothing that was there.
Let's let it go. Oh, I'm sorry, Mr. Secretary, I just saw, I was looking.
Go ahead.
Right.
So now,
To my friends.
it's a good place to look.
Yes, that's right.
Will there be water lines and stuff installed?
No, so that's what we're looking at was that their incinerator.
Well, I just worry about Charleston being up there in the mountain.
No, and really, we did our due diligence, we looked at, it's the same catch-22 that Wintergreen Park is in, because you look at installing full bathrooms, I mean, the costs are going through the roof, so we found a creative, environmentally friendly solution, and we're happy about it.
Ecolets.
Legislator Patel?
No, I just want to say that, Soil and Water has been fantastic the last couple of years of doing projects in the community. They worked well with the city of Amsterdam, working with the school district right now, this project. So kudos to Soil and Water.
Tire recycling.
And our connections to that, yes, let's see.
Do we advertise it all? I mean, to let people know that, I know it's quite popular, it's becoming more and more popular. And I've talked to a few people who played there and they love it, but I just wondered if more people knew.
Yes, we're doing some paid social media advertising, as well as, with having these events, the word of mouth within the community has been tremendous. But as part of our, tourism plan, having a county sponsored event there and using county dollars to market, absolutely. And marketing it outside the area.
Right, and there's no fee to play. Good.
We just released a video too that was highlighting it. It was a general tourism video for the county, but you had a lot of discount in the video.
Legislator Kelly?
With the paved parking lot, are we going to have storm water runoff? Yeah.
Yes.
So are we putting something in place to, I know it's in the middle of a swampy area, but.
Do we need engineering?
Well, that was the big discussion, and that's why we wanted to bid it out, see what came back, and evaluate it when it came back. But, to my knowledge, again, that's where Scott has really played a big role because he knows the place in the back. We haven't been trying to, basically, we talked, we get an idea, and then he really is running with them, and we're helping out more of the admin side.
Is that the guy that designed it?
No, that's Mark. Scott worked in soil and water, but Mark has been our greatest advocate for this, and still remains.
Thank you.
So the deal will be, we will amend this next week once we have the numbers.
Correct.
Okay. All right, any further discussion? I just saying off the cuff, man, I saw an ad last night for a TV for a store that specialized in this equipment only. Discs, gloves, goals, I don't know what other accessories go with, but I was amazed to see it.
I
thought they have a section in Dixon or something out there in the store.
opened up his trunk, and I couldn't believe the gear, and I actually said, I think this is what people think when they look at the back of my trunk.
No, that's not.
All right, all in favor of moving this forward? Opposed? Abstentions? All right, our next resolution is a resolution authorizing the Montgomery County Executive to enter into an agreement and release with the New York Environmental Protection and Spill Compensation Fund. I will sponsor that. Do we have a second? I just saw Legislator Kelly there first. Legislator Wilson. Counselor, you want to, I mean, these next two are kind of related, so why don't you give us the lowdown here?
So we have three brownfields that are all adjacent to each other in St. Johnsville that we've been moving towards, that we're closing on for a few years now. The county got through economic development, got an EPA assessment grant, which is huge. They don't get awarded very often. We were able to get one to do phase 1s, phase 2s in the county. We did phase 1 on this site, and it paid off tremendously because we were able to use that to go to DEC and go to EPA and get releases for this property to move forward with foreclosure. There is an interested purchaser in this, so once we can get title to the property, we will have that proposition before you to actually move this property back onto the tax rolls. It's a former, the three sites are various former factories in St. Johnsville. Been a mess for years, across the street from the library. So something we would really like to get back.
Is this the Sentinel building? Is this the Sentinel building?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, so long story short, we were able to get a release from DEC of any oil-related issues that can come up at the site. And we do have a release also coming from EPA because EPA, the site was so bad, EPA was on it, did a cleanup there, has a significant lien on the property that EPA is agreeing to release to the county, release the county completely, discharge their entire lien just to move forward and get this property back in productive use. So that's huge, and we certainly appreciate them partnering with us like that because usually they want to get some kind of compensation when they're doing a big release that way. So we appreciate it.
50% on the beachfront site?
Yeah, and this one is,
Thank you for your hard work.
All right, any further discussion on this resolution? Hearing none, all in favor? Opposed? Abstentions? Our next resolution related, resolution authorizing the county attorney move for foreclosure for tax map parcels number 9.13-1-1.1, 9.13-1-1.2, and 9.13-1-1.3. Sponsor, Legislator Sweet and Pertel. Discussion.
So is this the parcels we were just talking about? Thank you.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Our next resolution authorizing the execution of a stipulation of discontinuance. Counselor?
So this is a lawsuit that county was sued. We were able to get the contractor that works for the county to completely indemnify and defend the county on this. So we did not pay anything. They have ultimately reached a settlement with the party that sued them. They are including in their release Montgomery County. We need to just agree to discontinue the lawsuit at this point. So this cost us nothing, and we were completely covered and indemnified. And this is a case we've been working on for a few years.
What project is this?
This is the one that was at the transfer station.
Someone got hurt?
A PI, personal injury matter up there, yeah.
PI, and so they slipped and fell or something, and now, so the contractor that we have has insurance is paying it, and we have no liability?
Yeah, correct.
Thank
Yep, completely covered by a contractor.
All right, I believe I need a sponsor in a second on this one. I neglected to do that. Legislator Wilson, Legislator Sweet. And I think I asked Megan for explanation before I got a sponsor. All right, no further discussion, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? And our last resolution, a resolution of approving the abstract of audited claims, legislator Kelly, I'll second it. All in favor? Opposed? Abstentions? All right, quick look at the dashboards. Actually, things don't look too bad. I mean, if just looking at the color coding here, our expenses in the general fund all within budget, for 6 months. We got a couple of categories in the red, including the state DSS. I tried to ask Sean, I believe what Sean told me is that they've submitted their claims through June just as of today. So that's pretty good timing, but I said to Sean, why would federal reimbursement come quicker than state? He wasn't quite sure the answer there, because you can see that the federal DSS money is in more of a yellow zone instead of a red zone, meaning that we're getting paid faster on that. 41% that you see in departmental income, that's down low. Sean, that's directly related to the home and community services. Sean, can you talk about that relationship there?
The majority of the revenue and expense has to do with the transfer station operations. The majority of that revenue and expense is the solid waste operations of the county.
And of the home and community services, which is tied to it.
That's the expense side of the solid waste operation.
Now, Sean, you might as well bring up what you chatted with me about. I mean, the cost to bring garbage to Seneca and diesel fuel charge is starting to bite us. And go ahead.
We are, over the last couple of months, we are operating at a loss for solid waste mainly because of the diesel surcharge. And there will be a resolution next month to renew the contract with Seneca Meadows. And the pricing we're getting from Seneca Meadows is a pretty good increase over what we're currently paying. So it's something that we may have to look into.
For the tipping?
Yes.
On top of the diesel surcharge for the hauling?
Diesel surcharge is paid to the contractor who does the hauling. The tipping fee is what's going to increase from 1/1 if we choose to renew the contract with the Seneca Meadows.
1-1.
Which may mean, go ahead, say it.
Like I said,
We need to make it break
it's
even.
going to be a decision of the legislature. Do you want to operate solid waste at a loss, or do you want to operate at a break even?
Can we take a poll on it?
That's the decision of the legislature.
All right, and also looking at the sales tax report, if you take a look at it, as mentioned last month, the first quarter, we are 1.262 million over the previous quarter. I will say this, last month, the last three payments, the last payment in June and the two in July were not in yet. And we were tracking in that quarter at 2.9 million over the previous year. Well, now that that quarter has been closed, we're only tracking 765,000 in that quarter. So, and you can see that the last three payments, last year we had 2.9, almost 3. We had 2.3 this year. The second one is a little bit higher than last year, and the third one is, considerably lower, and there's where your difference is. So, I guess my point is year over year, we're a little over 2 million over last year, which is a good thing. We took in 41,556,000 last year, so if we continue at this $2 million pace, we'll be at about 43.5 when we close down the year. And our budget, as you can see, is 34,250. But I think it's more cautionary in that, and Sean, I think you ought to elaborate on this at your conference with other treasurers. They thought things were going to start to flatten out in the third quarter with sales tax, and we may begin to see that where people are not, and I saw this a little bit on TV today, the whole rush of coming out of the pandemic and spending money and everything, it's starting to subside because of inflation. And people are, less willing, have to tighten their budgets a little bit and maybe less willing to spend. Just something to keep an eye on. Legislator Patel, you had your hand up.
Yeah, I think we're all confident that the sales tax, a lot of it is driven by the sale of petroleum products. So do we have an understanding or comparisons on the sales tax from the big retailers in the county? Is there a way to get that information?
I can get that information, but I can't share it.
Well, that's nice.
I cannot give vendor specific information. I can get the report for internally.
Can you enable it, vendor A?
Redacted.
Vendor A?
I go to jail for that.
For labeling vendor A, vendor B?
Yes. I can get a report, vendor specific. I can give you categories.
How about sector?
Retail.
Can you do like retail?
I could give you retail business number 1 and retail business number 2.
But do we want to drill down that low? We want to
Well,
see it by
I can
sector.
sectors.
We want to see is gas tracking with store sales, is tracking, that kind of thing.
Yes, I can give you the different sectors. Retail,
I'd
gas,
be interested.
car sales.
I'd be interested in the petroleum products.
Okay, I can get you some report.
Broken down, if we could, month by month over the past 6 months. Okay, thank you.
It's going to be old because the state does not, is usually about 6 months behind with their reporting.
So they're able
So
to.
you're not going to get up to date. If I get a report from the state, you're going to be dealing with
Old.
5 or 6 month old.
So getting May's information won't come until November.
Correct.
Well,
That's been a fight with the state for years at our treasurer's conference, trying to get up to date reporting from state sales tax, and they just don't have it.
Get what you can, please. Thank you.
All right, any other discussion on legislature?
So since we're talking about tracking and stuff, how's chips doing this year? Good?
Well, it's on,
Because normally
we're not really, if you look at the
County
county road fund, you can see we're not a lot into it yet, right? We've got 5.3 million to receive, and we're at 241. So, you got any info on that, Sean? The chips?
The state
Yeah, the chips.
DPW usually does this, putting claims in for chip reimbursements in Weston County. That's when the first big claim would,
But are we going to expend our chip allowance, or are we going to be carrying forward, like?
I'll give you that.
I believe so, yes, because I know we got some pressure about carrying over, and my understanding is that message was heard loud.
That happened.
I'll have Eric send out an email,
Okay.
just to give you guys an update.
Yep.
That's kind of happened in the past too, right? Where he said, I can't carry it over, they're not gonna let me do it anymore, but that was 2 years ago. So the directive was out a while back, spend it or you may not get it. Yeah. All right, any other discussion? Legislator Diamond.
Chair, it hasn't to do with the finance committee, but I'd like to hold my sponsorship of the local law. First of all, I don't think it was seconded. Secondly, I think it's a resolution that needs to go to full board next week if we're going to do it, and then it would be voted on the following month. And plus, I heard Steve Harvey can't come here next month for us to open up the survey. So for that reason, I'm going to pull my sponsorship.
No, I don't know that, the clerk is just saying.
I didn't think there was even a sponsor or a second.
It's just put on our desk to vote.
Yeah,
I put it forward, so I assumed that was the sponsor, but I didn't hear a second. And it seems it's very convoluted, but, we haven't done something with this since 2014, so maybe we'll take another look at it. We also may want to consider putting outhouses out there. They worked pretty well back in 1775, too.
So I'll let this levitate on my desk.
You don't have to hold it or put it on your desk.
Well, I know.
County have the oldest one?
When we have Tryon Day, we'll show up with horse and buggy.
It's a good idea.
There we go.
So you're asking still on finance, right? Yeah. I just think this is a great sheet. I want to thank Sean for putting the City of Amsterdam thing on there. I appreciate it. So
Yeah, you got the breakdown of the ARA, everything we were looking for.
Thank you again.
And just really quickly, I think I was able to reach almost everybody on the phone, but just wanted to let everyone know that we did win our jury trial a few weeks ago against the county. So that case is now off our radar. So
Thank you for your hard work.
make sure I got everybody.
Take two kudos at it.
Yeah, good work.
All right, motion to legislator Kelly.
So is this sitting on her desk or not sitting on her desk?
Not on the desk anymore.
It's all up to them.
Off the desk.
Motion to adjourn. And second by legislature. Adjourned at 6.